Hello, you're listening to a preview of a premium episode of Blocked and Reported. Katie, I'm going to go out on a limb, wink, wink,
foreshadowing,
and tell people that they are going to want to listen to this whole episode. And if they do, they should go to blockedandreported.org and become a premium subscriber, which will give you access to this full episode and all sorts of other benefits. They're amazing. In the meantime, hope you enjoyed the preview. Hello, Katie.
Hello, Jesse.
Here we are. It's the dog days.
Speaking of dogs, I had a trauma yesterday. Can I tell you about it?
Yeah, but I just want to be clear. We're so in sync that I didn't even know you wanted to talk about dog stuff. I just said that off the top of my head. It was like really good improvising. And you're saying that was a segue.
Yeah, we're like women who live together and start menstruating at the same time.
I am also...
What happens when you podcast for 6 years?
I'm also menstruating right now.
You're on your moon?
Okay, yeah, tell me. What dog-related story do you have?
Moose swallowed a popsicle stick yesterday.
Is he okay?
He had to get an endoscopy.
Oh, gee. Wait, they just stick a tube down Moose's throat?
It's a camera. It's like a camera with grabbers on the end of it. And he is fine. I am not. It was traumatic for me, and I'm significantly poorer than I was. Although I will say, for people who have pets there, particularly dogs, the pet insurance, it pays for itself. At least for us, it has paid for itself every year that we have had it. He was, eating his popsicle as you do on a hot summer day, and he just fucking swallowed the entire stick. And then, so we took him to the emergency vet and got caught in horrendous traffic on the way to the emergency vet because of the bridge. We live in this area where you have to cross this bridge to get to the mainland. And the bridge was up because would you like a lesson in maritime law?
Yeah, I would love it.
Boats have the right of way. So one fucking sailboat can mean that 1,000 people are late to their vet appointments or whatever. And so we got stuck behind a bridge closure. So it took us 2 hours to get to the emergency vet. When we got to the emergency vet, they said they charged us $250 and said they couldn't do anything because they don't do endoscopies there. And they sent us to another emergency vet another hour away. So it was a very long day. He is fine.
They sedated him before they stuck it down there, right?
Of course.
Okay, yeah. I just feel bad.
Like,
Moose is like, I'm just curious what Moose thought was going on, but I guess we'll never know.
Well, he was sedated. So, I mean, he seemed fine today. He's like, I think his throat probably hurts because he's not eating very much. But yeah, it was awful. And yes, people, take my advice. Get the pet insurance. It will pay for itself if your dog ever leaves the fucking house or likes to eat popsicles. He's not like a chewer. He's never destroyed anything, but he just like gulps straight down the gullet the entire fucking stick. And it might have just come out the other end fine, but it's one of those things where you can't, it might be fine or it might kill him.
Yeah.
And you gotta really evaluate how much you love the dog. And that's another reason that I recommend pet insurance, because you don't have to put a number on how much you love the dog. I mean, I guess you do. It's like what your maximum deductible.
You do, because you pay the premium.
I mean, your maximum payout for the year. So I love the dog like $20,000. Probably more than that. But yeah, it takes that calculus.
Would you pay $20,000 every year to keep Moose alive?
Yes.
Interesting.
Would you pay $20,000 every year to keep Moose alive?
No. Every year, December 31st, a guy shows up with a shotgun and a bag, and he's like, fill it up with $20,000, I'm going to shoot Moose. Every year, without question, you would just give him the money?
I would say, do you take Venmo? But yeah, I don't have that kind of cash laying around.
He doesn't take Venmo.
So I got to get cash?
But he does take Cash App.
Okay, Cash App or check. If yes, I would do it. I would do it. I'm a crazy dog person. I mean, he's only going to live for another 20 years. So what's that? 20 times 20,000? That's not that much money.
Katie, what are we talking about today?
Jesse, today we're talking about a story so bizarre, I'm not sure I even know how to describe it. It's a story about medicine, about psychology, about sex, about bodies, about mental illness, about a public shaming that this one might actually be deserved. I will let you be the judge of that. But before we get to that, I do have some follow-up on our last Primo episode about Marsha P. Johnson, and I have a correction.
All right, yeah, go for it. Correct away.
Okay, so on our episode about Patagonia, the drag queen being sued by Patagonia, the fleece company, I said that when Patagonia, so that's the alter ego of a man named Win Wiley, I said that when he filed to trademark his drag name, Patagonia, the examining attorney at the U.S. Trademark Office, her name is Kathleen Lorenzo, I said that she did not search the name Patagonia, like the brand, in this database. I based that on the public record of her searches, which apparently I don't know how to read. It looked to me like she searched variations of the drag name Patagonia, like Pattigonia, Pattie, that sort of thing, but not Patagonia, Patagonia, like the brand. What I didn't realize is that she did a search for the phonetic spelling of Patagonia. I didn't realize that until I heard from my listener who corrected me, so I was wrong about that, and I apologize to Kathleen Lorenzo.
Sorry, Kathleen.
All right, next up. Jesse, our last Primo show was about one Marsha P. Johnson, the legacy versus the reality. Link in the show notes if you missed that one. And I want to return to Johnson just briefly. So after that episode, a number of people pointed out that there appear to be fewer Johnson memes and signs and murals than there were just a few years ago. I've also noticed that. Although we did an episode a couple months ago about a brand new lesbian bar in Philly named after Marsha P. Johnson, I guess unknown white dyke didn't fit on the sign. But I do think that the Marsha Johnson mania is on the wane, which I attribute in part just to the broader vibe shift. It ain't 2020 no more. We've moved on. But there are some places where Johnson is still being mythologized. And one of those cases has led to a conflict in a local school system. So for this first segment, we are going to Watertown, Wisconsin, population 22,600.
And what happened in Watertown, Wisconsin, population 22,600?
So last fall, the high school band director in Watertown, Wisconsin, population 22,600.
That's 22,600. That's
exactly.
22,600.
Announced that the band's spring concert would include the song A Mother of a Revolution, ! By a composer named Omar Thomas. Let's take a listen. Here it is being performed by the University of North Texas Wind Symphony.
You got a recording from the UNT Wind Symphony?
I did. Isn't that crazy? I actually had to go there.
Wow.
Like the drums?
Yeah.
All right, now we're getting some bass. What is that? What's that instrument?
It's like a French horn or
Bass, right?
bassoon. I don't know.
It's sort of squeaky.
Okay, that sounds cool.
It's supposed
That
to be
sounds like a
squeaky.
cool song. I mean,
keep going?
it's a
Oh, here we
4-minute
go.
recording.
Trombone?
I like trombones.
Okay, that's probably enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so that piece was composed in 2019, and it is dedicated to Marsha P. Johnson. On his website, Omar Thomas, the composer, describes it as a celebration of the bravery of trans women, and he wrongly, as we know, credits Marsha P. Johnson as the instigator of the Stonewall riots. Jesse, read this quote from Omar Thomas.
We pump our fists to honor the life, heroism, activism, and bravery.
Are you doing it? Are you pumping?
I'm pumping vigorously.
I'm pumping, but it sort of looks like I'm trying to get a semi-truck to honk at me.
Oh, that was so fun when you were a kid and when it worked.
Totally.
And bravery of Marsha P. Johnson to honor the legacy of the Stonewall Revolution, to honor the memory of the trans lives violently ended due to fear and hatred, and in honor of trans women worldwide who continue to exist unapologetically and who demand to be seen. I should add, we don't... she was found, I believe, drowned in one of the New York rivers, so we don't know if if it was a hate crime or anything, but I don't know if he was referencing her in particular. But yeah, so how did this incredible song lead to any controversy in Watertown, Wisconsin, population 22,600?
The problem, Jesse, is that the school board in Watertown, Wisconsin, population 22,600, listens to this podcast, and they know that Marsha Johnson was not actually the mother of the revolution, and they didn't want this sort of revisionist history being taught in schools. No. What happened is that, according to Wisconsin Public Radio, back in October, the band director, so this was in accordance with district policy, sent a letter to parents alerting them that this song was going to be on the docket for the spring concert.
Oh, like, because it's controversial? Right.
So in general, the high school band director isn't going to tell parents what songs are going on the spring program. But in 2025, the district adopted what they call the controversial issues in the classroom policy. And this prohibits things like, quote, displaying political or controversial flags, signs, clothing, or accessories unless related to a course of study or certain instructional materials. So no more no step on snake flags in the classroom. That policy also mandates that, quote, teachers shall provide effective notice to parents in advance of controversial issues being instructed in the classroom.
God, I feel like I can feel a lawyer at fire starting to write an angry letter. And this has to be in response to like the second Trump administration and the crackdown on a lot of education stuff.
I mean, it might be in response to libs of TikTok. It's in response to something. Or maybe they had like local library grooming scandals. I don't know.
So in this case, that policy led them to send out a warning about this song, which
instrumental
has no lyrics.
Right. Right.
Just that the song was inspired by something parents might find controversial.
Yes. So that's why the band director sent out this note. He was trying to comply with his policy, and his note read in part, "The purpose behind studying Mother of a Revolution is not to provoke controversy, but to deepen students' understanding of how music reflects the diverse experiences of humanity."
Okay. And did anyone care? Did anyone object to this?
According to Wisconsin Public Radio, when he sent this out, one student opted out. That's their right. So one family had a problem with it.
No, it's not. I think they should be forced to play it.
And then in May, so many months after this song was added to the roster, so many months after they'd been rehearsing it, the school board voted 7-1 to pull the song from the spring performance.
Why?
So they put out a statement, and that it says that, quote, "concerned parents," no indication of how many, "brought this to their attention," and, quote, "according to the composer, the piece, A Mother of a Revolution, was commissioned to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising, a 6-day riot which included the beating of police officers and attempting to burn down a building with human beings trapped inside. Considering these factors, the board decided to remove the song from the concert due to its celebration of violence."
Okay. What about the rockets, red glare, bombs bursting in the air?
Right.
Yeah. I can understand conservative parents who have conservative politics not wanting to celebrate this. You wouldn't even know that inspired the song just by hearing it. We play a lot of classical music was often written by people with very bad I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that the program would have had some, oftentimes I'm like a big high school band guy. So you
go to a lot of those.
I've been to one.
Disturbing number.
I have been to one.
Yeah.
Recently. I went to a political rally and the high school band was playing and before it. Anyway, but this idea that celebration of violence cannot be included in the spring program is just completely inconsistent with what is typically played in public schools, like the Battle Hymn of the Republic. This is performed at just about every school graduation and football game in America. You mentioned, what's the Star Spangled Banner? Is that what it's called?
The Star Spangled, yes, that is the national anthem, Star Spangled Banner, yes.
There are endless examples of songs that celebrate war and violence, and no one bats an eye. And look, I think the story of Marsha P. Johnson that's commonly told is mostly BS. We did a whole show about it. But I kind of doubt the school board's decision is truly because they object to celebrations of violence. They are not pacifists. This is just a retroactive justification. And I suspect that in reality, the problem is more likely that the song celebrates a trans icon. And they are either personally offended by that or they are scared of the backlash.
I mean, they could say celebrating the Revolutionary War is different from trying to beat up cops during a riot.
Is it?
That would be
Is it?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think wars.
They're both a revolution.
Okay, I guess they're exactly the same thing.
But no one wants to get on libs of TikTok. You can see this sort of thing. Like one person takes a photo of the program and sends it to Chaya Rychek, and then all of a sudden you've got fucking bomb threats being called into the school. And I think that public school employees in particular, should be really smart about this kind of stuff right now. And personally, would I object to? I don't object to this song. Are there some celebrations I would object to? Like a song that glorified Asada Shakur or, I don't know, R. Kelly's Piss Closet? Yeah, I'd probably object to a high school band playing that. But Marsha P. Johnson didn't kill anyone. And besides that, the song is instrumental. You literally can't tell what it's about from the music alone. It's not going to indoctrinate anyone. Although it might confuse them about the role Marsha P. Johnson played at Stonewall, which again was minor.
Was there a backlash to the backlash when they pulled the piece?
Of course. So after the school board announced its decision, which again was decided after the students had been practicing this song for 7 months, hundreds of students walked out of class in protest, and almost 800 alumni, staff, students, parents, and others signed an open letter to the school board objecting to their decision. The school board stuck with it and kept the ban in place. But then a local Lutheran church invited the students to perform the piece there, and the composer, Omar Thomas, himself actually showed up to conduct them. So that's kind of sweet. And the band, it just backfired completely and probably made people more sympathetic to the students and to the false memory of Marsha P. Johnson. and less sympathetic to the school board itself. And I will be interested to see what happens in their next election.
And apparently the conservative parents were right, because I heard all 800 of the alumni, staff, students, and parents came out as trans.
Absolutely. Jesse, did you do any like band or orchestra or music stuff in high school?
We all had to play recorder.
Hot cross buns?
We definitely at least got to, what's the step up from hot cross buns?
Oh, I don't know. Twinkle, twinkle?
Do, 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 do,
That's
do,
Mother
do,
of
do,
Revolution.
do, do. I played flute from...
Flute?
It was annoying. Yeah, I played flute from 3rd grade to like 7th grade. And just as I was getting decent at it and starting to do some improv stuff, I became...
Improv?
Well, like jazzy stuff.
Your life could be so different.
I know. I'm just as I was starting to get like a little bit decent at it, I was like, wait.
This is gay.
I'm a teenager now. Boys, yeah, this is gay.
Yeah.
Boys can't play flute.
Yeah.
And then since then, the only other instrument I played drums very poorly, but I don't play any instrument well.
You were trapped in the gender binary.
I actually was. What about you? What'd you play?
I didn't play an instrument. I took piano lessons as a kid. I was terrible. I did do some choir stuff in high school. We sang at my high school, we sang a lot of Negro spirituals. So it would be like 40 white kids singing Wade in the Water to an all white audience. The optics might be weird now, but I think it was good. Not the singing was bad, but the message and the history. And you probably forgot about this, but we did a story last year or the year before about a progressive church in California banning Negro spirituals because a tiny number of people...
Why did you say I forgot? I remember everything we've ever did. Of course I remember this. It was about a progressive church in California banning Negro spirituals.
Why?
Because the people singing them were white.
Okay, you got that. You just guessed it, though.
Okay, should we move on to the main event today?
Let's do it. Okay, Jesse... The main event today comes to us from Turf Island, and this is one of the weirdest stories we have possibly ever discussed. So our main character today is one Neil Hopper, a British vascular surgeon who performed amputations on patients. And in 2019, in a very strange twist of fate, Dr. Neil Hopper himself developed a severe case of sepsis and had to have his own legs amputated below the knee, both of them. He was 42 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. But the good news is, there's no one better equipped to deal with suddenly becoming a double amputee than an amputation surgeon, right? And so Neil set up an Instagram account to chronicle his journey. He called it Bionic Surgeon. And for the next couple of years, he updated it regularly. And it's full of inspirational content. Wholesome shots of his wife and kids. Then there's Neil working out without legs. Neil walking the dog without legs. It's quite impressive. I can barely do those things with 2 legs, much less 0. And if I lost my legs, I would probably be upset about it. I would probably be cranky. Not a good patient. But Neil is both a survivor and an optimist, and he really embraced his new existence and his new prosthetics, which were very cool. Like, he's got regular prosthetics with shoes, but he also had some of those blade things, like the South African guy who killed his girlfriend. An upgrade, I think.
Oscar Pistorius.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Neil also became a good resource for other amputees, and his post would go into detail about the pros and cons of various prostheses. He did a lot of those virtual walking challenges that were popular in COVID times, like you walk the length of the Inca Trail on a treadmill, and then you get a medal saying you've done the Inca Trail, that kind of thing. He also made a charmingly GeoCities-esque website, also called The Bionic Surgeon, where he would put out occasional blog posts. So here's an example from June 2020. This post is called Downs as Well as Up. So Jesse, please read this.
It's fair to say that I've had a rough few weeks. I'm not sure if it's the fact that I recently had my 1-year ampuversary. Oh, that's a good word. Whether the COVID situation is getting to me or something completely different. I try to stay upbeat as much as possible. I try to push myself, but I'm increasingly getting tired. I went to the beach with the kids a few days ago. Evie, my 10-year-old daughter, took her shoes off and went paddling in the sea. It started me thinking about the sensation of sand between my toes and the cold of the sea on my feet, sensations I will never have again. I then spiraled downwards thinking about things. I got fixated on the thought, I don't have any toes. This thought just kept going around and around. No toes, no soles, no heels, no ankles. It was quite overwhelming. I just missed my feet so much. I was never in love with them. To be honest, I never really thought about them. They weren't the best feet. They weren't exactly pretty, but good God, do I miss them. They were definitely useful and were certainly better than my robot feet. This makes me realize how lucky I am to have feet.
For now.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it much. What do you mean for now? Are you making a prediction?
Have you been testing your blood sugar?
I probably am going to get the diabetes at some point, given my current eating. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so he's. I mean, this is a poignant blog post about what it's like to be jealous of your daughter's feet.
Yeah, so he's honest about the challenges of being a W.
Is this going to end with him amputating his daughter's feet
Yes.
and then grafting them onto his body?
Oh my God, how did you know? How did you know?
You could just tell.
Well, Jesse, it's not that, but all was not as it seems. But we will get to that. So, on February 2020, Dr. Neil Hopper was featured by BBC Cornwall as he returned to work. He was performing his first amputation since his own amputations. He talks on that show about how his experiences as an amputee has driven him to push harder for the well-being of amputees, and this appearance led to more media appearances on national TV. So he was featured on shows like This Morning, which is the British equivalent of Good Morning America, and he was seen as this heroic figure. And this was happening in 2020, early 2020, right when the COVID pandemic started. So people all around the world were showing support for doctors and nurses. Remember, banging pots and pans for frontline workers. That was particularly true in the UK. The National Health Service has always been a bit of an obsession there. It's often described as the country's national religion.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a heroic doctor. Brits really, really love a heroic doctor. And Neil was no exception. So like in 2021, he applied for the European Space Agency, which was recruiting the first disabled astronaut to go to space. He made it to the in-person assessments. It was ultimately rejected in favor of a hot influencer with ADHD. No, it was actually a British Paralympic athlete, but still, pretty good showing. And then in 2023, after years of activity and media appearances, Dr. Neil Hopper abruptly stopped posting. And this was not because he suffered complications from his amputations. He didn't die. His feet didn't suddenly grow back. It was something much darker.
What happened?
Neil Hopper was arrested. And I will tell you...
For not having feet?
I will tell you why in a moment, but first we have to do some background. So while Neil Hopper was busy living his best life as an amputee, the British police were investigating a website called eunuchmaker.co.uk, which I'm very...
Wait, what? That's it. That's all you get. If you want to hear the rest, go to blockreporter.org and become a premium subscriber to hear the end of this tawdry tale. But in the meantime, hope you enjoyed the preview. Bye.